and welcome to the Saintly Sounder, your source for all things FIFA. Today I'm taking on my most ambitious project yet. I'm going to try to give you a comprehensive guide to becoming a better passer. For some of you this might seem like obvious advice, for some of you it might just be the execution that's lacking, but I hope this helps those out there who maybe are having trouble with the beautiful game. Alright, before I start anything, know your players. Barzagli and Pirlo do not pass the same. For all of the advice I'm going to give you, nothing can beat knowing your own team and what to expect. Barzagli is going to make a lot of bad passes, while guys like Pirlo, you can get away with a lot more crazy stuff. So before I even start, let me say, know your players. It makes an absolute big difference whether you realize it or not. The first and most important step is patience. Not only patience as you try to improve to become a better passer, but also patience when you're actually in the game. You don't want to be forcing the issue, and no matter how many passes you go, or no matter how many passes it takes, you gotta find the easy options. Play it simple, it'll often work, and you'll turn into a great passer in no time. I'm gonna show you a clip here and then still it for 1 second so I can show you what I'm talking about. Here, I'm patient for most of the build-up, and then I just get too anxious to go forward, and I force a ball that doesn't belong, and I lose possession. Despite the fact I had nice build-up play until this moment, I blow it because I rush at the absolutely wrong time. The black line here is the ball I end up trying to play, and as you can see, I throw it up into triple coverage and lose it. The red lines are all balls I could have played that probably would have been a successful pass. That yellow line means I could have actually kept running backwards and it would have been an easy pass back to Matuidi. So here's an example of what I should have done right here. I'm going to connect a lot of good passes here out of the back, but the same situation occurs. I'm going to end up with a player up top with their back to goal, but instead of forcing it forward to Cavani in that red line there, I'm going to end up passing it back and actually maintain possession, which is always the goal here, as I still will have a chance to go on goal. So the next step is to spot the triangles. This is the same thing any coach would tell you if you're a kid. This is the same thing they tell Barcelona at La Masia. Whenever any one player receives the ball, you should always have 2+ guys to pass to. And EA does a fairly good job here of ensuring that if you're always looking for triangles, they will appear and you can maintain possession almost every time as long as you're patient. I wanted to pick a guy to record this against that really pressured me, and that's because a lot of you guys seem to have problems finding these sort of options when under a lot of pressure. And so as you can see, he's got 2 guys stepping here. If I hold onto the ball for any sort of time, I'm going to lose it in a very bad spot. So I have to be able to see quite quickly who my 2 options are and who I can one-touch drop it down to. Now I want to work my way back across the field away from pressure, so I'm going to play Matuidi here, and as you're going to see, he continues with the pressure, but that's okay, because EA's representation, or at least their ability to correctly simulate the effect of triangles, is going to allow me to get out here and build a good combination of passes. So as you can see, Matuidi's going to get the ball here, but the pressure is still on, so I really can't go forward yet. I'm going to have to go backwards. I could play it back in to the guy that just passed it to me, but that would be playing it back into pressure, which is a big no-no, especially when a guy's rushing 3 or 4 guys at you. So I'm going to go back to Thiago Silva, who's then going to play the ball to Bedemo. Now that red dotted line is Bedemo off screen here. I could have played him right now, but if I can't see him on the screen and I'm not 100% sure there's not a defender over there, I don't want to play a dangerous ball, especially since Lavezzi's off balance and might underhit it a little bit, which could lead to a big counter. So I just end up playing Thiago Silva to Bedemo. And from Bedemo, I'm going to get the swing going, because at this point his entire pressure is on one side of the field. I'm going to switch it quickly and get up going down the other side, which turns out to get me a fairly good chance. So here it is from the top, Matuidi to Lavezzi, Lavezzi to Silva. Bedemo gets that long switch out to David Luiz, who plays Aurier, who's going to get up the field here. I get in a little trouble with the one time I hold onto the ball too long. That's where pressure's a little effective. Make sure you get rid of it as quick as you can and as accurately as you can, and you should find success, especially against high pressure guys. As you get higher in divisions, people get a lot better at step 3 here, and that's anticipate the space. Know what your AI is going to do, know what the defending AI is going to do, anticipate what your opponent is going to do so you can create space either on the dribble or on the pass. Now, for some of you that may not know this, left bumper forces runs. That's how you can force a guy to make a run for you, and that can be really useful, especially when you're on the dribble, on the ball, and you want to get a guy for that through ball, that cutting ball, that goal, and ultimately the win. So Matic is going to receive the ball on his way to goal here. But if you don't read this situation correctly, that defender, the blue arrow right there, is going to get the ball. You have to understand who's going to step to you. I read this play quite well here. I see Hulk there waiting for that give and go ball, that left bumper ball that I'm going to play a through as soon as I get it. Just a one-touch through to Matic, and he's going to be in on goal. This is all about anticipating the space and knowing the runs, and admittedly this is going to be hard for a lot of you beginners to understand where your players are going to run. For a lot of you, this situation probably happens 4 or 5 times a game and you might not recognize it because Matic here would have lost the ball instead of playing the ball to Hulk, and then you don't get to celebrate, which is kind of a bummer. Here I'm already up 6-1, I don't need another goal. But for the sake of this video here, we're going to go ahead and get it anyway. So here's the full clip. Matic one touch. I'm holding left bumper to force Matic to make that run. A nice little give and go gets Matic his first goal for me, and the only goal he's scored in 20 games at my club. But it all comes down to anticipation, using that left bumper, knowing runs, knowing defenders. Now this next tip is one that's really underutilized, I think, in this game. I think a lot of people have that mentality when they have a good player on the dribble that it's head down, this guy's either scoring or the play's going to die. But keep in mind that dribbling can create space, and it can be an incredibly effective way to create space, and it really draws out defenders. Part of the reason David Luiz tends to be really OP in these games is because people don't dribble to create space. When you're facing a fast defender, if you dribble, you pull that defender out, which creates space in behind him and will allow you to often have a really easy chance on goal. Alright, so the play in front of you. Ermenko's got his back to goal. Doumbia right now is being marked out by a wing back and 2 center backs. But as you can see by the arrows, his 2 center backs are going to step. If I play this ball right now, it's going to be an off-balance through. Maybe it goes too long, it goes to the keeper. Either way, it's a very low probability opportunity. However, Ermenko's going to roll toward the bottom of your screen here, and Doumbia is going to take up the space that the 2 center backs have now left. And this is going to create a very, very easy opportunity. It's just going to be a nice on-the-ground through ball, and that puts Doumbia on goal. And as I'm sure you all know, Doumbia on goal is basically a guaranteed goal. Call it sweaty or cheesy or whatever, but understanding how to create space and draw defenders out is one of the most important things to becoming a really good FIFA player. As you saw in the triangle part of this demonstration, passing the ball can tend to lure people over to sides, and using the same concept of being able to pull defenders out from the space they were originally in, you can use passing to create very easy opportunities. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm going to win the ball back. Then it's a bunch of quick passes here that draws DeMarcos out. I form a triangle between Lacazette, Payet, and Cavani to get him in on goal nice and easy. In the replay, watch DeMarcos at the top of your screen. Watch him get dragged to the top here. He gets dragged out of position. Payet plays this space. Cavani takes the space that DeMarcos was in, and it's in on goal. Alright, so just a quick recap. Patience is key. It's going to take you a while to get better and to use these tools. And also, no matter what people say, possession with a purpose is always okay. If it takes 15 passes, if it takes 20, if it takes even 5, be patient with your opportunities and take the chances that your opponent gives you. Work the triangles. They're always there. Trust me, if you get better, and as you get better, you're going to see triangles in the game. Try to find them, use them to your advantage, especially against guys who like to pressure. Anticipate. If see the game well, know what the AI is going to do, know what the defenders are going to do, know what your opponent's going to do. That's the best way to win games in FIFA 15. And lastly, create space on the dribble or on the pass. Do what you can to help your team out. It'll vastly increase your chances of scoring, and oftentimes, if done correctly, will lead to very easy goals. Alright, so if you found this at all interesting or helpful, like and subscribe. I'm on Twitch at TheSaintlySounder, where I try to demo good soccer. I'm on Twitter at TheRedDeath329 if that's your thing. Until next time, see you on the pitch.